Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, of great millstone, pushing this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered to the four corners of the globe, pushing the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, pushing the word truthfully and sincerely. And say shalom to you, Akim, out there. And this is a news article that I just about to bring out. And this is published on August the 5th, 2022. From RT.com, World News, alternative news around the world. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads for in the news on August the 5th, 2022, on this Friday a.m. And U.S. announced military activity near Taiwan. It says Chinese drills will not deter the U.S. Navy from operating in the area, the White House said. It says the U.S. Navy ships and planes will transit Taiwan straight in the next 2 weeks. It says the White House announced on Thursday that the National Security Council spokesperson, it says John Kirby, condemned Chinese military drills in the area. It says the Pentagon has ordered the aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan and her assaults to remain near Taiwan to monitor the situation. Right, and this goes 2 days after Pelosi visit the Taiwan Sea, and they set a couple of Navy ships in the Ronald Reagan ship as aircraft carriers well too. During the time when Pelosi was visiting the islands, to protect her and her colleagues as well too. Now she left the region, it was the day before yesterday. Now she visiting North Korea, the area of somewhere in the outskirts of Korea, I believe, as she continued her trip. And so yeah, after the United States said they're gonna have the U.S. Navy ships and planes in the Taiwan Strait in the next 2 weeks. So yeah, I just want to add that as well too. It says that the White House announced on Thursday that the National Security spokesperson, John Kirby, condemned China's military drills in the area, and the Pentagon has ordered the aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan and her assaults to remain near Taiwan to monitor the situation. It says the Reagan and her company ships are based in Japan and were deployed to the East Sea in recent days as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi paid a visit. I just mentioned that. Paid a visit to Taipei, Taiwan against the Chinese objections. Beijing has responded to Pelosi's visit by launching extensive drills around Taiwan and firing a dozen missiles across the island. It says amending heightened tensions, the U.S. President Joe Biden decides it will be prudent to order the U.S. aircraft carrier strike group to stay in the area for a little bit longer than they would originally plan, according to Kirby. The spokesperson also condemned the Chinese missile test as irresponsible at a time odds with our long-standing goals of maintaining peace and stability. What the scripture says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then shall destruction come upon them. I believe that's in 1 Thessalonians, I believe. It says across the strait in the region. It says we will not be deterred from operating the seas and the skies of the Western Pacific, consistent with international law, as we have for decades, supporting Taiwan and defending a free and open Indo-Pacific. He said, as part of the effort, the U.S. will conduct standard air and military transits through Taiwan Strait in the next 2 weeks. Kirby added. The White House also confirmed early reporting that the U.S. Air Force has postponed a scheduled test of an Minute-Maid third International Ballistic Missile, which is the ICBM, but Kirby insists that the test will happen in the near future and that the U.S. nuclear deterrent was safe and secure and effective. So yeah, after the United States is gonna do that. So hey, expect these tensions to increase now more than ever, especially within the next couple of months, especially in the next couple of days as well too, and in the next 2 weeks that the United States announced military activity. So they're gonna ramp up their military activity near the island next to Taiwan, because you already had, I believe China just finished wrapping up their military drills in Beijing as well too. So yeah, it's gonna, I believe the United States is gonna have their aircraft carriers and one Reagan ship to be stationed and monitoring the situation for the next couple of weeks, as the Biden administration announced. John Kirby announced as well too. After they said they're not going to be deteriorated by China's aggression towards them having a continued unofficial alliance with Taiwan as protection and be able to be allies in, to protect Taiwan, as the tensions increase now more than ever between the United States and China, so it's going to increase now more than ever, Then we'll bring up the Luke 21 and 11. Luke 21 and 9, Salaki. And this is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Right, because the end is not yet. Because that's why you got all these things keep on increasing, these tensions increasing now more than ever, with the commotions and wars. Not only you just got commotions with this, you got commotions of wars and the continued proxy wars between the nations, with the Palestine-Israel situation, the what's going on in Syria, what's going on in Iraq, and still some going on in Afghanistan as well too. A lot of activity still going on in the Middle East. Then with the Russia-Ukraine thing, so proxy wars and commotions, on and off wars, clashes between the two different nations of people. Two different nations, and two different kingdoms as well too, increasing now more than ever. So as the United States made that announcement that they're gonna continue to have more activity and monitoring the situation, they're gonna send some more aircraft carriers, fighter jets, and the Ronald Reagan naval ship as well too, to the naval striker as well too, I believe, in the Eastern Sea over there. near next to the Taiwan island. Because you got China, they stationed over there as well too. They got their war planes flying through there, and they got their military tanks. As you were seeing about 2 or 3 days ago, once they was doing those military exercise drills, they had those big tanks swerving through the islands, and the citizens was looking like, what the heck. So hey, it's gonna be that tension is gonna increase now more than ever between China and the United States, as China was firing about 11 missiles, I believe. I uploaded a video. I believe it was from TRT News or something like that, and I had uploaded a video, and they was showing that I believe it was like a 1.3-second clip they had when China was firing 11 or 12 missiles. So, China, they in that warlike type drill, they in that warlike mindset, and they send the United States and the United States allies as well to a clear message, whoever get in their way. Because, they still look at China still look at Taiwan as a part of them, even though Taiwan is over 1 million people. They got a large population on that island, definitely for sure. Because they look at that as like a sovereign island with those people over there in that island. Because China still look at them as part of it, as part of them. Even though they got their own island. So yeah, and China is kind of still upset, along with Beijing as well too. Because the Beijing and Washington relations is not so good, right along with the China and the United States relations. It has got more not so good than ever. In the what's his war type tactic is, the relationship is not so good, and it's gonna get not so good more than ever, with the tensions rising and increasing. That's why, these wars and rumors of wars is at an all-time high, These wars and rumors of wars between these two nations are definitely increasing now more than ever, as I mentioned before, So yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of increase of wars and commotions, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdoms, and it's gonna increase now more than ever, and it's gonna lead into that World War III, which is recorded in the book of Revelations 11 and 14. The second war was past, and the third war coming quickly. Hey, we're seeing the war drums are beating, and it's trending right now, especially with the China and United States tensions are decreasing at a high rate now more than ever. It definitely increased in the last few days, almost entering a whole week now. Expect to see it increase now more than ever, especially within the next 2 weeks, as the United States announced that they're going to have more activity in the islands next to the Taiwan Sea, and China is going to be stationed down there. You're going to have Japan as well too, Beijing, because you already have other tensions going on as well too, I believe with South Korea and Japan, but I guess they settle their differences with that, because you have the United States, Japan, and South Korea. They allies with one another. I guess South Korea and Japan, I guess they settle their differences over the island dispute. because the United States is gonna, uh, I believe it was like close to a week ago. It was over dispute over the islands, because the United States has said they was gonna do all they can to protect the Philippines, as I believe Japan. It was like some type of violation of the island dispute or something like that. I guess South Korea and Japan, I guess they must have settled their differences on that. So yeah, you're gonna have, because China and North Korea, they allies, and then you got the United States, and Japan, and South Korea. They allies with one another as well too, you know. So yeah, like I mentioned before, it's gonna be a lot of more heightening, alert tension going on in the island seas over there near the South China Sea and close to the Taiwan island. You're gonna have a lot of military on different sides, from Beijing, from Japan, from the United States, and China as well too. And the United States made that announcement. They're gonna have more aircraft carriers there, more warplanes flying through there. Just like China, they're flying their warplanes through there, in their military ships over there as well too. Military warships. They have warplanes flying through all there, and everything like that. And some of their military troops stationed there as well too, on those boats, So hey, it's gonna be, United as the United States administration said, they said it boldly, we're not gonna be deteriorate of what China did. And then they condemned what China did, those missile launches that they did, They said it was unacceptable, And it goes into Joel 3:10, let the weak say I am strong. And China, over the years, they a better superpower now, Now, even though the United States got more in different areas of far as military capability is concerned, but other than that, China is up there right along with the United States, because China, they got military warlike ready type stuff as well too, to the hypersonic missiles, to the ICBM missiles, aircraft carrier, warplanes, fighter stealth jets, anti-missile ships, tanks, you name it, and many other things as well too, So China is warlike ready more than ever, because their military had advanced throughout the years, So China is not that weak nation no more. That's why I reference Joel 3:10. Let the weak say I am strong, And, China is going to continue to send that strong message that, hey, United States and its allies as well too continue to support Taiwan, and we're going to be military ready to all their best and might and strength to stop that, even if it is meant to have strong measures, with the economic sanctions or possibly military response, and that's what we're seeing. That's why you're seeing China doing all that military readiness, that full military training, live real-time drills, so they ready more than ever, and they ready to go head-to-head with the United States and its allies as well too. Keep on being in their business with Taiwan and China, because China still look at Taiwan as part of them, even though they're separated from islands, even though South China Sea is the bigger island than Taiwan, but China still look at Taiwan as one of them. Taipei, Taiwan still look at as one of them. And United States are getting involved with as being continual unofficial allies with Taiwan, and Beijing and China. They have a problem with that. So that's why these wars and rumors of wars definitely increasing in that region right there, and it's gonna intensify and it's gonna increase now more than ever, especially with the nations rising against nations, and that's what we're seeing. In that island area right there. As you got all these nations gonna be monitoring and stationing one another. They definitely gonna be monitoring one another. With each other's activities, with China, Beijing, Japan, and South Korea as well too, potentially, I believe, and the United States. So, hey, it's gonna be a lot. Tension's gonna be heightening now more than ever in that region. And I'm gonna bring out Matthews 24:6. And this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24:6, in the Holy Scriptures, and it reads, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass." So basically like a precept to Luke, the book of Luke 21:9. And I'm going to read it again for edification's sake. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24:6, and verse 6 in the Holy Scriptures, and it reads, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled." Salakia. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, because the end is not yet. And Thawadi Hashem El Shai, for giving us the opportunity and chance to know these things in these last days, Because, hey, these things are heating up. These war drums are beating between these nations. This is increasing now more than ever. It's definitely between these nations, And it's going to stir up even more than ever between these nations, And China is going to do all its best to stop the United States to defend Taiwan, because China still look at Taiwan as their own, So yeah, you got all these different nations stationed down there, like I mentioned before, Japan, China, Beijing, United States as well too, So in the next few weeks, expect to see more heightening tensions and more activities in that area, in that region, because anything can go pop off just in an instant, because these tensions are heightening now more than ever, And I'm gonna go to verse 7. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24:7. "For nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places," right? Because, hey, these nations against nations are definitely at an all-time high, especially down there in the South China Sea next to the Taiwan island. So expect to see more military action, more military monitoring each other's situation, or any, China, they're ready for war at any minute. Hey, China, they ready for whatever, Especially China, man. They've been on a tear with their military response. China is ready now more than ever. China is not afraid of America. China is not afraid of their allies. Because China say, hey, we got allies as well too, just like much as you got allies, Hey, this is a triple tag team match. Potentially might gonna happen, But ain't no telling, that's probably in the near future. But, the main focus is, China been showing their military might, strength, and capability. Hey, we are fully actually prepared for war if anything goes down, because we still look at Taiwan as one of us, even though we separate from one another between the South China Sea and the Taiwan Island. And the United States tried to intervene with that, as they continue to give Taipei, Taiwan. Recently, they approved the sales to them with more nuclear arms for help them be more self-governed and more self-protected as a nation on the Taipei, Taiwan island, you know, and the other allies that back them up as well too. So, hey, these tensions are definitely stirring up, It's gonna increase now more than ever. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Barakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching His word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And before I close out the sit-down lesson on this August the 5th, 2022 at 12:35 a.m. on this Friday in the a.m. at night. So yeah, expect to see in the next 2 weeks or so after the United States made that announcement that they're going to have more of their aircraft carrier equipment and their warplanes, fire jets as well too. And the Ronald Reagan aircraft ship is going to be stationed there. And it's going to be in the next 2 weeks, So they're going to monitoring the situation over the normal monitoring that they've been doing, so they're going to extend it and it's going to increase. So, wars and rumors of wars increasing. Nations definitely increasing now more than ever. And it's going to increase more and more and more within the months and the weeks and the days ahead, So with that, I will say shalom and a ball.